Hello and welcome back to Kim Reads as we continue with Christmas bedtime stories. Crayon Box Christmas. Late one night, a young girl named Kathy sat up alone, coloring a large wreath she had cut out of cardboard. Boxes and bundles stood piled in the center of the small, dark apartment. Kathy used an empty packing crate for a desk. It was the end of moving day and it was Christmas Eve. She had lost count of the time she and her mother and her younger sister had moved. Too many, that's for sure. No matter where they moved, nothing changed. Their bad luck just moved with them. This time, the factory where her mother had been working went out of business, so they packed up and drove to a new city to check out the possibilities, her mother had said. But moving took most of her mother's last paycheck. That meant no money for a Christmas tree or presents, not even a wreath for the front door. That's why Kathy sat up late this evening, coloring the cardboard wreath she had cut from the empty box. The only light in the room came from a desk lamp she unpacked. It cast a round golden glow on the surface of the moving crate. In the circle of light gleamed 132 new crayons, their waxy points sharp and shiny. Crayons were the only good thing about this day, she thought. The crayons had been a going-away Christmas present from a friend. Because Kathy moved so often, she didn't like to make friends, but this time she had met someone different. Someone who liked to draw as much as she did. Someone who saw possibilities in her pictures. Someone she missed already. Someone who knew she liked the deluxe box of crayons for a present. Kathy had always liked crayons, even after other kids had graduated to fancy felt-tip markers and paint. She liked how the crayons looked, lined up in the box like little soldiers standing for attention. She liked their waxy smell. She liked the names of the colors: goldenrod, carnation pink, sea green, mulberry, raw umber. Most of all, she liked the way the crayons felt. The soft paper wrapper, the weight of the round stick in her fingers, the pictures, that idea seemed to flow down her arm and into her hand. There's so many possibilities in a new box of crayons. She worked hard on her coloring. The plan was to finish the cardboard wreath, and then make a large cardboard Christmas tree. If they couldn't afford a real tree, they might as well have a homemade one, cut from the biggest moving box she could find. At least there would be something special for her sister to see on Christmas morning. The hours passed and Kathy colored on. At the stroke of midnight, she had just finished the last ornament on the cardboard Christmas when a voice called softly from an open crayon box. "Psst, take me out, big girl. I need to talk with you." Kathy looked at her crayon box. All the crayons seemed normal, except for a brown one in the corner, a color she had not yet used. Somehow, the crayon looked glossier than the others, more alive. Carefully, she pulled it up from its spot in the box. The wax stick came to life in her hand, little brown arms and legs sprouting out of the paper wrapper. A sassy brown face grinned at her from under a pointed brown hat. "Who are you?" Kathy gasped. "I'm Sepia," the little crayon lady chuckled. "See, it says so right on my wrapper." You're real!" Kathy couldn't believe she was talking to a talking crayon. "Of course I am. How do you think you draw people pictures? All by yourselves with those clumsy giant hands of yours? Don't be ridiculous. We crayon people guide your fingers and make it possible. Why, if it weren't for us, you would not draw such a beautiful wreath and Christmas tree tonight." Kathy thought about a strange idea for a minute. "Well, I thank you then, Miss Sepia," she said slowly. "I'm glad you helped me with the cardboard tree. It's the only one of my family we're going to have this Christmas." "Ah, that's where you're wrong," smiled Sepia gently. "Oh, this night of all possibilities, my dear child, you have been granted a special favor. Watch." Standing in Kathy's palm, Sophia turned and bowed low in the direction of the homemade Christmas tree. Suddenly, streaking from every corner of the dark room, flashes of color gathered above the cardboard cutout. For a brief second, she could see a shimmering rainbow, and then the colors melted and sank in her tree. But it was no longer just a crayon tree. It was the largest, greenest, real Christmas tree Kathy had ever seen. The brown crayon lady pointed to her hat at the girl's cardboard wreath. More colors gathered and transformed the art into a lovely full circle of real fragmented evergreens. The girl stared, first at the real Christmas tree and then at Sophia. Oh, thank you so much. Sophia chuckled. There's more if you could draw it, my dear. Is it possible you could do a picture to give your sister on Christmas morning? Kathy's eyes opened wide. You mean, Sophia nodded. Tonight all the possibilities in the crayon box will come to life for you. Now what will you draw for your sister? Kathy looked over the crayon waiting in the box. A wonderful Christmas picture started to take shape in her mind. Midnight for blue for a dark winter sky, and silver for millions of tiny twinkling stars. Pearl white for a glistening mountain of snow. Cinnamon brown for the bark of trees loaded with lemon drops and tangerine candies. Ruby red, emerald green, and amethyst for a jewel bird singing in the branches. She reached for her crayons. The picture flowed out of her fingers and onto the piece of the moving cardboard. Excellent, Sophia whispered. She bowed in the direction of the drawing, and the winter came to life before them. It was so real that Kathy felt snowflakes brush against her cheek, and she heard a ruby cardinal from the lemon drop tree. Next to her mother's picture, Kathy closed her eyes for a minute, and then she reached for every warm, comfortable, delicious color in the crayon box. Peach, melon, apricot, violet. Salmon, banana, orchid, clover, and spring green. Beneath her fingers bloomed a bountiful feast in the grass. A nod from Sophia, and piles of luscious fruit filled the room. Carnations and violets and the smell of fresh baked bread perfumed the air. These two drawings would make Christmas gifts never to be forgotten. Now Sophia spoke quickly. Listen, my dear, before our special moment passes. My special gift to you is seeing possibilities. You've always been able to see possibilities in a box of crayons. Now think larger. Draw a picture of a big, wonderful life for yourself and live it. Look for all the great possibilities. And a lively little woman turned back into an ordinary brown crayon. Laughter, hugs, and tears of joy greeted Kathy on Christmas morning. Her mother and younger sister were astonished to see a magnificent real tree and a handsome green wreath on the front door. Even more wondrous were these two special gifts, drawings so real that you could taste and touch them and smell them. It was an incredible day. As Kathy lay in bed that night, thoughts of her own Christmas present ran through her head. She touched the crayon under the pillow. Possibilities. And as she fell asleep, a little brown voice seemed to speak in her dreams. See the possibilities, my dear? Possibilities for great drawings. Possibilities for new friends. Possibilities for a happy family. Possibilities for you. And that is the end of that story. Thanks for listening.